that little point right there, right? They don't take the slack out of the trigger, but they aim. So again, this is my spot I'm aiming at. So I'm here, now, right? And they're jabbing at the trigger because their body is moving, and they're like, if I could just catch the sights in that instant that the gun is in the right place, now, get it, right? And none of that ever works. Well, it works at 2 yards. It doesn't work for anything beyond that. So the first thing I teach them with the SIRT pistol is to take the slack out of the trigger, right? And then press. And I have them watch the red ball. And the goal is to not have any movement of the red, keep that red ball still so they're not adding extra movement to the pistol, right? But this other drill, eventually as I crush my hands down harder and harder, my trigger speed slows down. And what I explain to them is there's a balance in there. What you're trying to do is minimize and press all the way through the trigger, straight through. That's quickly, trigger speed. Carefully is slack, press, slack, press. And we can tolerate some movement of the pistol when we're doing carefully. Precisely, it's got to be slack, and that red ball has to stay there. Press, slack, press. So you can teach quickly, carefully, precisely with this because the visual feedback, like interdigit interaction, I am unconsciously moving my trigger finger or they put the finger on the back of this, on the back of the slide, or back of the frame to back up, so now they have something to, this is when they're doing this, they're pressing like this. So that interdigit stuff is a problem. Then they go press, and they grip, everything tightens down, and then they let go. That's not what you want, but if you make them do the SIRT pistol drill, and you just let them do this and go whack, there's no time for squeeze. I do not use the word squeeze in relation to trigger manipulation. I know that was popular, and you see in the old gun books, but squeeze, you tell somebody to squeeze something, they're doing this. Yeah? So I use press. I do not use pistols. So the thumb goes up there, as if it were sitting on a thumb safety.
Yeah.
As if it were sitting atop a thumb safety. All of this material right here, all of this little stuff right here, that belongs to the other hand. That is not what people do, but that's what they're supposed to do. So, they want that thumb to be down. See how the meat of my hand is up there in the top of that corner? That's what you're trying to do. Not like that, not like that. See how the heels of the hands aren't even touching the gun? Then you get the meat of the hand touching the frame of the pistol. Right? But most people do this. Watch the next one. A lot of people do this. See how my thumb is curved? The difference between this and this. They're afraid of the slide, so they don't want their thumb up here. You do not have to push your thumb against the slide. Look, I'm going to shake hands. Okay? Now, there's a spot right in front of the elbow. There's a muscle right here. Put your finger on that muscle. You can't. Now, point your fingers at the ground and point your thumb forward, all the way forward. Yeah, point your thumb at me. See, I want more wrist rotation. Pain. Yeah. Maybe that's why people don't do it as much. Yeah, she's got it. But you feel that muscle tighten up? That's recoil control. That's recoil control. When you put your hand in the shake hands position, these muscles are all neutral. They're not doing anything. There. Brachioradialis. I learned that word about 6 times a year and I immediately forget it again. So